Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. And so, Lee, I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes. And, as we talked about, you were telling stories and things of that nature. And so, if you could humor me with a story or something you want to talk about, that'd be awesome.
Well, it's nice having you here, and you enjoy having you come in and look around and buying some stuff, and particularly buying some stuff because I'm ambidextrous. I can take money with either hand. But
Well, you got some GT40s that you're working on, right?
yeah, we've got 5 more chassis. We've got one over in the paint shop right now. We don't do the paint work or the fiberglass work here. We trim it or detail it, but we don't do that work here. It's just too messy. But we've got 5 more after the one that's at the paint shop, and we've got a gentleman from Sweden that's threatening to buy one. And my problem is I've never been able to sell one. People always call me up and say, I want to come buy it.
Okay.
And I can't find them. I can't advertise or market and find a customer that can afford to get a new Mark II exactly the way we raced it. They come find me, and it's such a strange marketing thing because you don't know where to advertise or what to do. It's just a funny little niche market, and in fact, the people can't use it to go to the grocery store and get milk and bread.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So you have to find somebody that can afford to play the game, and when he's breathing heavy and his wallet's fat.
That's a nice combination.
It's a list of things that you have to do, but it is funny that everybody that's gotten one from us so far has found us.
Okay.
And all the marketing, everything we've ever done, hasn't ever brought in a customer.
So how many have you done? I know
we've done a few, and the problem is my car, the one I raced for so long, I just enjoyed driving it. That's why I got back in the GT40 business, was because my dad had sold all his or gave them away for 10 grand a piece.
Oh, wow.
And he wouldn't let me have one. I couldn't buy one. And when he passed away 4 years later, they were all gone, and by cracky wanted to have one. And
Sure.
I found that I had all the blueprints, and I had people that had built them originally. And so I tooled up to make my own car. The only problem was the only way I could get an original chassis from Tennant Panels was to order 15 of them. And so we're still working on the 15 chassis. I suppose the people that got them are happy with them because 2 of them have gone to Europe.
Okay.
And you never hear back from those people. They never, unless they break something, they're not warm and fuzzy. They don't call you up and say, oh, that's wonderful, I love it, this is great. We sold one into Peru, same thing. We've not heard another word since they called up and said, the car's perfect, we're so glad, thank you very much, click, and that's the last we heard. So wow. We don't know if they're displaying it or racing it or
just keep it in their collection.
Yeah, or put it on a Christmas tree or something. You just never know. We had built a Roadster for a gentleman in California, and he loved building it. He liked the process of building the car, but he said you need to take at least 2 years to do it because it'll take me that long to get a building permit to put up a garage for it in Woodside, California.
Oh, wow.
And during that 2 years, he took his Ferrari to some track days and apparently spun out, had an off-course excursion. And when he got the Mark II, he didn't really want to drive it.
Okay.
He liked owning it, but then his neighbors in Woodside, California, kept hounding him to take it to the track, and we were going to take it to the track. And he kept saying, but no, and he finally got frustrated from everybody hounding him about taking it to the track, and he sold it to a museum. It's now in the Cobra Experience Museum outside of San Francisco.
Okay.
And I don't think it'll ever go to the racetrack.
Wow. He just kind of lost the nerve.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I want to see him on the track.
Sure.
Mine was wonderful. I had such a ball driving it, and to be able to drive in at Daytona on the banking at 180 in a car you built yourself for yourself.
Wow.
And have it work and no failures and no issues is just so satisfying.
Yeah,
and
can't
so
put a
pleasant.
price on that.
Yeah, and
Wow.
few people can say they've done that.
Very few.
But it's kind of fun. But the thing that we have now is we've got this company, Holman Moody, with all this history and all the blueprints and all the stuff. And I'm getting to the age that you wonder what the heck to do with all the stuff.
Sure.
You don't want to just see somebody throw it in a dumpster.
Yeah. You've already been through that, and you've already
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah, it's just it's frustrating to imagine what you're going to do with it. But I've had a pretty fun ride of it, you know.
Well, and you said, your daughters, you had them involved and stuff, so.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're so successful and so positive in what they do
Okay.
that they'd have to take a massive cut in pay to come play with race cars. And so I don't think
That ship has sailed.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do that. But they've enjoyed going to Goodwood and to Daytona and to a lot of the car shows and stuff with me.
Sure.
And they've learned to travel well, and they can certainly drive a car because they started with a Falcon Sprint. They know what a 4 on the floor is, and a car with no power steering and no power brakes and an AM radio. And it was funny when they had the Falcon, because both of my girls are exceptionally beautiful. They're lovely girls. But when they're driving the Falcon, every time they'd pull in a gas station, some creepy little man would come over and say, "Where'd you get the car? I used to have one like that." And they were never after my daughters. They were always just wanting to talk about Falcons.
Right.
But it annoyed them because they couldn't just quickly pull into a gas station and put the 9 gallons in the silly little tank it had and roll off, because people wanted to talk about a '63 Falcon Sprint.
Wow. And you were talking about when they were growing up and dating and stuff and showing up in different cars. And...
Yeah, they could drive my Ferrari Roadster and take that on dates and some of the hot Mustangs and stuff that we had. My oldest daughter now is camping. They've rented a camper in the North Island of New Zealand. She and her family live in Singapore, and every year they go to either the South Island or the North Island or to Tasmania or to Bali or to Vietnam or wherever, and tour around. But this year they're touring the North Island of New Zealand.
Wow.
And so they got used to traveling with us.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I sincerely appreciate the time. I appreciate the
our
opportunity, and so many blessings to you and your family, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.